Welcome to another episode of Distilling the West. I'm your host, Dan, joined by my co-host, Dave. How you doing over there, Dave?
I am doing very well, very well. Very excited about today's lineup,
Yeah,
and
we are
also
definitely.
it's been nice and rainy here lately, so we had some cool weather and a nice calm before the storm or storm before the heat. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah, definitely one of those spring rains. We had a great lightning show last night and on and off today. Get to wear my final fleece or um, flannel maybe one last time before the heat kicks in, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited today. We have Jonny VerPlanck from Las Vegas Distillery. How you doing over there, Johnny?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. Happy to
Excellent.
be here.
Yes, we're so excited to have you on
Yes.
today. And like Dave said, we got a great lineup of your bourbon, a dark rum, and your coffee liqueur. So we're looking forward to get into these pours here. But before we do, um, Johnny, can you tell our listeners a little bit about your background before you got to Las Vegas Distillery?
Yeah, let's see. I was living in Belize and moved back to the States from Belize and met my wife, and she's from the state of Missouri. And I decided that I was going to open a distillery and started jumping through the hoops. I decided that I was going to do it probably in 2000, I think 2004.
Yeah.
It took a long time to get it to where that thing was open, but back then there was some people that were waiting for 2 to 3 years for permits from the TTB anyway. So it's a little faster these days. So anyway, I had a couple different locations and tried some different things and what the TTB wanted. Then the historic society wouldn't let me change in the building and whatever. Long story short, I partnered with a winery, Les Bourgeois Vineyards in Rocheport, Missouri, and basically partnered with them, and we threw a still in and put it in an extra room they had out there at the winery, and then we just filed the paperwork and waited, and it took a couple years, and then I got a call. I think I was headed to Japan on a tour, and I got a call and said, "Hey, we got approved," and so that's where that whole thing started. So, and I was there in Missouri making rum, actually, in the
Okay.
whiskey state. Um, Making rum in the whiskey state, and and lasted until about 2016. And then in 2016, I got a job offer. I wanted to do rum from fresh pressed cane juice, and you need to have the access to the fresh cane right there. So it's
Yeah.
not something that you can ship around. So I had an offer with the mill down in Louisiana,
Okay.
which and so I moved down there and did a project down there. And I was the first one to do the rum from fresh pressed cane juice in the state of Louisiana.
Oh, cool.
And then also one of the founders, and I was vice president of what we put together as Louisiana Distillers Guild. Also,
Very
so
cool.
that was the whole thing that ran to about 2019, and then I left there and I was doing a lot of consulting all over the place, so all over the U.S., UK, and Grand Cayman, St. Kitts, Belize, Honduras, Mexico. I was doing a
Mhm.
bunch of stuff. I was flying all over the place, and
Yeah.
then had a ruptured brain aneurysm happen in St. Kitts, and so that kind of put a little halt on things.
Mhm.
And I was on a walker and stuff. I had to learn how to walk and I'll do all kinds of things again. So,
Oh,
but I'm skateboarding and surfing when I can and doing all the things. Not as good as I used to, but I'm doing all the things.
that's
Good for you.
huge.
So, yeah. And then because of that, like I kind of took a little breather for a second
Yep.
and had a job offer to come get some guys up and rolling in Fort Lauderdale. So I moved to Fort Lauderdale and did that thing, and then COVID hit. So then a lot of pivoting. I was doing some consulting via Zoom, and I mean, I was doing 24,000 gallon ferments in Houston by FaceTime and Zoom.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Not able to fly anywhere. I'm walking people through things. I
Yeah.
also taught a guy start to finish, had never fermented or anything before, and taught him the whole rum thing in the UK. So in his distillery's opening, running, and all that stuff, and I had all these multiple projects, that kind of some of them suffered and some of them did not. And then from Florida, I did a project in Texas, and then I was looking for home base. COVID was kind of winding down, and just doing the consulting thing, and one of the offers on the table was the Las Vegas thing, and I'm from Southern California originally, and I got friends and family here in Las Vegas, and I just decided that that was probably the one that I was going to take, and here I am.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize how fast you can jam over from Las Vegas over to SoCal. It's faster than from where we're at to get to SoCal,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is funny
for
to
sure.
think sometimes. Yeah, so let's see. You got quite the colorful background there, Johnny. Um, why don't we get into our first pour and we kind of talk about the location of the distillery and yeah, let's see what we get from this straight bourbon here.
Okay.
Let's
So
pour
yeah,
this
can you
baby up.
introduce the pour for
Yes,
our
please.
listeners?
Yeah. So the mash bill on this is 75% non-GMO yellow corn from California, 15% rye also from California, and then a 10% malted barley. That malted barley is on that one is going to be there's no specialty malts in there. That's just a straight malted barley. I am now currently for the stock bourbon. The malted barley is actually a Benjamin Special B, which has a wonderful caramel notes and stuff to it. So it's a specialty malt that I'm using as my 10% now in the stock and the bourbon. But that one doesn't have that. That's the regular malted barley on that one.
This is great on the nose. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of age on there. It's a straight. It's a minimum 2 years. I think you probably got that around. It's probably about 27 months, I believe.
Okay.
Things are aging insanely fast in the
Right.
obviously in our climate.
Mm-hmm.
The proof goes up instead of going down because it's so dry there. So it's yanking water out of the barrels. I don't think anything in the distillery, honestly, is going to go longer than 5 years. And I don't even know if it's going to go 5 years, to be honest. I
Right.
don't think I'll do anything more. I tasted some stuff that was at the distillery previously.
Yeah.
And I've tasted some of the stuff down in Texas as well. That's in kind of similar climates.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just if you hit 5 years and it's just too tannic and only a termite would really want it. And it's not all the good stuff of the barrel.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really liking this. On the nose, I get like kind of a floral component, but also some of those classic bourbon notes of the caramel, vanilla. Definitely, this is really nice bourbon for 2 years. It's got a little bit of heat on it, but it's a welcome, nice backbone that you'd expect on a bourbon. Nothing that blasts you or anything like that, and it's got some.
And that is at 47% too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think it drinks that hot. I think it's a very a light pour. I get a lot of caramel, a lot of those sweet notes on the palate. This is really good stuff.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of the rye coming through. Maybe that's kind of contributing to that nice hug that's going on. I like this one.
And now you're a rum distiller at heart, right? So do you do a lot of bourbons or?
I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm a distiller. I just drink. I drink rum.
Okay.
I drink rum and Mexican spirits as my the things I like to toss back. I have quite a bit of whiskey experience as well. I got NDAs on whiskey distilleries that didn't want anyone to know that the rum guy helped them with whiskey. So I I have whiskey. It's just not my that's not my preferred drink.
Okay.
When I'm drinking.
That's fair.
It doesn't agree with me too well. Like some people don't drink tequila because it just doesn't agree with them. That's whiskey for me. So I don't drink whiskey anymore.
When you're drinking your rum, do you usually like kind of it neat and more mature rums, or are you more of a cocktail guy?
So here's my thing. I love unaged spirits straight from the still, whether it be mezcal, Sabol, whiskey, anything that's rum, anything that's that fresh cane juice rum. Like I love the unadulterated spirit that's coming out of the still, and I strive to make all my. I mean, you've tasted a lot of White Dog and things like that, and a lot of the booze that's going in barrels is really mediocre when it's coming out of the still. And the philosophy, like in the music world, they're like, oh, we'll fix it in the mix, and then we'll fix it in the barrel. And I strive to have a nice fermentation and a really nice distillation, and have palatable spirits coming out of the business into the still. So that's my main goal. And I do that with the whiskey. I do that with the rum. I do it with all the things that I have there. So, yeah, I'm not. I guess that doesn't really answer your question, but.
No, I think it does. You like it neat, the unaged spirit. I could see where, you're looking for the craft coming right off of the still and not hiding behind the wood or anything like that. So no, I think you fully answered that for sure. And I imagine,
Go ahead.
I imagine that plays just to where you're at, I would assume, like you were mentioning, how you can't have a lot of age on your product if you have, like you said, a mediocre spirit going into a barrel with kind of like a rapid aging process. You're probably not going to be able to round those corners off with the barrel process as much as kind of a low and slow type situation. So,
Yeah, I mean, I do, but this is a process that I already was doing prior to being in this quick aging area.
Yeah.
It's just the way I started from the get go, and I also, I mean, I love aged spirits as well. I just really like the good stuff that's clean, and I know where it came from. I know what it is, and then yeah, I'll take the aged stuff as well. But it's like if I'm going to do a rum and coke or whatever, or if you're going to do a whiskey and coke or whatever, I'm not putting bad spirit in with my Coke
Right.
because that's just people are like, oh no, we just use that for rum and Coke. But I'm like, no, that's not. I don't want bad spirits. I don't care if it's covered up with Coke or not. Like, but I feel like I want a rum and Coke. I want good booze in there. So, I mean, I do really expensive tequilas and stuff, and I make margaritas because I'm feeling like a margarita. And I mean, I'm using bottles of Fortaleza, and you know, it just is what it is. I like good spirits.
Yeah. The heart wants what the heart wants, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So when that white dog is coming off of the still, what are some of the notes that you are or are not looking for that obviously if you're like, ooh, I'm hitting those good notes, you're right in the sweet spot, but maybe some of those, what are some of the flavors you're looking for where like, ooh, I need to, tweak the process just a little bit here.
So, I look at my distillation the same way that I used to look at the music world, and I do something that's it's not the norm really. I mean, there's people that do it, but the majority of people, what they do in the music world is they look at a sound that they like, and then they boost that sound. They're like, yeah, let's turn up the good stuff. Let's turn up the good stuff. I do subtractive equalization. So I try to find and hone in on anything that I don't like, and I cut it out.
Okay.
And so I do the same thing with the booze. So, and I never go into it like, well, I'll have, great grains or whatever the raw materials are. And I take them. I don't go into it thinking like, hey, this is going to be just like Maker's Mark or whatever. That's just not how it goes. So I let like I would let a singer's style dictate how they want to be. You don't try to make Janis Joplin sound like Mariah Carey or whatever you want to say. But like, so I let the raw material and the raw ingredients kind of guide me to where they want to go. And then if there's anything that I feel like I don't like about it, then I figure out a way to tame that or get rid of it. And then if maybe I don't like the raw materials, and maybe I just change up the raw material too. So I'm just not going to settle for the cheapest yellow corn I can get. That doesn't fly with me.
I like it. Yeah, you're really putting the craft into your craft distillery there for sure. And yeah, no, we're big believers of, quality grains,
Mhm.
and the heirlooms and the non-GMOs and all that stuff really starts from the good base, and then it's kind of it seems like an iterative process for sure. Well, I really like that bourbon. That was good.
I poured myself a little heavy on that one, so I'm still liking it. So while we're still sipping on this, how would you say? I guess what are the challenges you see between going back and forth between like the agricole style rums to whiskeys and back and forth to other liqueurs? Um, how does that pose challenges for you as a distiller?
I mean, it's really hard to like a lot of people just make one thing, they just make one thing and that's it. And I never wanted to be that person. I want to be first. I want to make, but everything I make, I want it to be really good. So the challenge is I got to go in seasons basically, or I got to keep my mindset. Like if I'm doing bourbon, I'm doing bourbon. Like and bourbon's probably 60% of our production,
Okay.
to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have American single malt, and we've got the rums, and I got a couple specialty things. I got a gin and a vodka as well,
Yeah.
but like it's we've got quite a few spirits, but I'm in whiskey mode. I'm all bourbon, and then the bourbon season's over, and then I'm all single malt,
Okay.
then I'm all rum. Like I got to go in those. We don't do them all at once.
Okay.
The liqueur stuff happens, but I mean we don't have. I have like three bases basically is what's going on. I have a lot of SKUs from like three bases.
Cool. So you mentioned you do a single malt. What's your malt of choice?
Well, I'm playing with all different malts right now, but like that Dingeman Special B is wonderful. It's good. I've got some doing some cherry wood smoke stuff. I've got some peated stuff. Um, yeah, I have all kinds of one-off barrels that I'm playing with in the distillery, and like I also I got blue corn bourbon stuff as well, Bloody Butcher stuff as well. So
Oh, fun.
there's a lot of things going in there. The single malt I'm just doing I'm not doing as much as I would like to. I would prefer to do more single malt and lay off the bourbon just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I feel as a category, like one of the reasons I love rum as well, like as a category, you're not so locked into a box and
Right.
and has to be this. I love the creativity side of things and the artistic side and being able to use like all different types of casks and doing all these things and so I like the artistic side of the whole thing. So bourbon's a little bit, you know, locked in.
Right.
A little bit restrained there.
Yeah, you got to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing new fill or secondary fill on your single malts?
Both.
Both. Nice.
Yeah,
Excellent.
both. So so I took one of my bourbon barrels. I actually did a coffee liqueur in a bourbon barrel, aged their barrel in there, and then I gave that to Craft House, which is a local brewery, and they
Okay.
did their Russian Imperial Stout in there.
Ooh, that sounds
And
good.
that was in there about 9 months, I think. And then now I'm finishing single malt that was I think it was like a year and a half, I think, or 2 years, but it's gonna live the rest of its life in that bourbon coffee liqueur Imperial Stout barrel. And
Sounds
so
delicious.
that's tasting really nice right now. So and I don't know, it's gonna stay till it stays,
Yeah.
The secondary, I don't know. I really love new barrels. So I love new barrels as well. Um, if you've got 10 or 15 or 20 years to let something sit in a used barrel, that's cool. I don't have it in the climate that we're in, and
Yeah.
so I like varying, toasts and chars and stuff of new barrels and having that control. And then also, then I can reuse my new barrels from the bourbon and all that stuff and keep them all in my same program
Right.
rather than get it. I mean, I have like Basil Hayden barrels and Wellers and like I have all these secondary barrels. I'm not getting anything out of them. It's almost a waste of my time, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. But this is, it's all trial and error. I'm almost 4 years into this project, but 4 years is not a lot of time.
Right.
It really isn't
Not
in the
distilling.
grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should we get into the next pour? Maybe this is your baby here, Jonny.
Yeah, I mean, it's dark rum.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all my babies. So, this dark rum, what's that? It's 45. Yeah, I think it's 45.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yep.
45. So I got a lot of numbers in my head. So excuse me on that one. So that dark rum, the majority of the dark rums out there are new make rum. Basically full of sugars and then caramel color, and that's basically most of the dark rums that are out on the market. This is actually the white rum, and it is aged 2 years in 53-gallon barrels.
Okay.
So it's aged for 2 years there first, and then it's blended with the 100% pot still, pretty heavy ester rum, the stuff that I use for my overproof as well. So it's blended at about 80-20 ratio. And then I put it in these modern cooperage stainless steel barrels that a lot of wineries use that have two types of American oak staves in there. So I do a finishing in there for 3 months with it's blended rum, and that was with the 2 years aged in the
Wow.
pot still rum. So, and zero sweetener in there, by the way. So all the way dry.
That's really good. I'm liking that a lot. It's got kind of a lot of those flavors you would really expect, like a nice dark brown sugar taste on it. Yeah, a lot of those sweet flavors, and yeah, it must be that high ester content coming through. It makes it rich and full bodied. I like it.
Yeah, silky smooth.
Punchy.
And honestly, again, zero burn, I think, on
Yeah.
this. Like, I would not have guessed it's as high a proof as it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep.
I forget which cocktail I was making, but I did like a little float of this dark rum on the cocktail. I like that touch on there. It added a lot of really great flavor to the cocktail.
Yeah, it's definitely a great floater.
And so, how many different rums are you making out there?
So the white rum is a blend of unrefined Louisiana cane sugar and blackstrap molasses from the same mill, so single source from there. So
Okay.
basically, they take the cane, they crush it. I'm taking the two parts that they separate and putting them back together. So that's the for the white rum base. I didn't want the white rum to be too rummy. It's nowhere near vodka by any means, but I mean, I really love the really heavy ester stuff. Like
Yeah.
I love rum fire and like I love all the heavy ones. But everybody doesn't love that. So I wanted to make a nice daiquiri rum that's going to hold up in cocktails. It's got enough rum flavor in there. So that's the blend of the sugar and the molasses is the white rum. So
Okay.
that's what that was aged for 2 years. That's our white rum. The dark rum you have here, we just talked about. I also have an overproof rum, which I've been doing overproof rum for a lot of years. I was running it at 138 proof, so I was running a 69% overproof rum for a lot of years, and then Plantation came out with their overproof rum at 138 proof, and I was just like, okay, I guess I'm not the copycat here, but I'm going to duck out of this equation because
Yeah.
everybody's going to think I followed that.
Yeah.
So this is a traditional 126, which everybody's doing, So we have the 126 overproof rum, which is just pot still,
Okay.
pretty heavy ester, and I've got Dunder Backset. It's kind of like a sour mash thing. It
Okay.
takes time to develop over the years, and so it's
Mhm.
going to get stronger and more punchy as it goes on. And then I did a spiced rum, which is really low sugar content, real spices, no flavorings or anything like
Okay.
that.
Nice.
Um, it comes in, yeah, I had it at about 32 grams per liter of sugar, which is next to nothing. And I bumped it up just a little bit and backed off the clove a little on this next version. So it's sweetened only with organic agave syrup
Okay.
anyway. And it's got a lot of rum flavor with orange and vanilla. So it's almost you could just put it over a block of ice and you got a rum old fashioned basically right there and just put a orange peel and you're done. And it's at an 80 proof
Okay.
spiced rum. So and it's like I said, it's only at like 40 or 42 grams per liter sugar. So still super low.
Yeah.
So we have those going. And then that's about it on the rum front, except for I got stuff that's in barrels that's crested 3 years now. So I'll be releasing some stuff there pretty soon. We'll see how that goes.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yep.
So I'm guessing you're not getting the sugars or the molasses locally. Are you getting that from the same place that you used to in Louisiana, or?
All of it comes from the same supplier I've been using since like 2010 in Louisiana.
That's awesome. That's awesome to have that kind of relationship.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, Johnny, you said you started with Las Vegas Distillery about 4 years ago, and that was kind of during a big transition time for the distillery, correct?
Yeah, so this distillery, I think the start of the whole thing was like 2010. I think they got licensed in 2011 or so. Um, I'm not really a history buff, but from
Got
my
it.
recollection. Yeah, and then that was with George Ross, and which is kind of crazy. He suffered an aneurysm as well, but he didn't make it. About I think a year before I did or so, or
Oh
six
wow.
months or something. So he didn't make it. His wife kept the distillery going for a while, and it was up for sale. And then somebody acquired the distillery, and they were doing mostly moonshine stuff, and they were doing a lot of small barrels, like 5 gallon barrels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And some liqueurs and some other things, but she kept it going for a while, and then it was acquired, and then they had basically a consultant firm or headhunter, whatever you want to call them, like looking for a distiller to come revamp the whole spirits program. And so that was one of the offers that was on my table. I had like a Napa area thing, a thing in the South, and then this one, and I was looking for home base. And so then here I am in Vegas.
Nice. Nice. And so with the distillery being taken over in 2022, what was kind of the re-envisioning for the distillery and the direction that it was kind of envisioned and going?
Well, I'm not sure if there was much of a vision. I'm like, I'm gonna make world class spirits is all I'm gonna do. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna do the moonshine thing. That's just not it's not my jam. So I want to make world class spirits. So I think through the hiring process or whatever, I think they understood where I was coming from, and so if they wanted to continue with the recipes that were there and all that stuff, then I really wasn't the candidate for that job. So I think they knew that they wanted to really up the game there. I mean, it was mostly like pallets and 4x4s and stuff. That was like the decor in there. And I mean, they gutted the thing and spent, I mean, my boss spent a lot of money
Yeah.
making that a really, really nice tasting room.
Nice.
And I mean, I came in to what was claimed to be a working distillery, but I came in and there was like literally no cooling on the fermentation tanks. There was like all these things I had to, like, there just hadn't been maintenance done in years. And
Yeah.
so like everything was in pretty dire straits, and I did a ton of upgrades and right away had to do, cooling for the fermentation tanks. I added fermentation tanks, cleaned everything. I was just like, the one of the boilers of the two boilers weren't working at all, hadn't been for a couple of years. The other one was working at half mass. So I rebuilt the boilers, I rebuilt the mill, totally rebuilt that thing, got new rollers. I mean, like I did a ton of work to get things up and running. We had actually just got a brand new mill now. So I ran that mill for over 3 years. And it was already it was bought in 2010. So it's a pretty old mill already. I have it as a backup. We just got a brand new, nice RMS mill, U.S. made, probably probably the best mills out there. It's wonderful. And a chain disc setup. So I mean, grain handling is going good. Yeah, we're up doing a lot of upgrades. So it's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
That's got to be nice though.
Constant upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be nice for you as a distiller to get the toys you want though, right?
Yeah, I mean, same thing with the sound world. I'll mix a whole show and sure SM57s all day long, and the guys that are crying they need all the nice toys can have all the nice toys, and I'm fine. I'll do just fine in my mix. Like so, I don't need all the bells and whistles, but
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to have the ability to have stuff that works really good.
Yeah. Make sure your life runs smoothly, and then you can focus on really honing down in on those exceptionally made craft spirits, like you said, those world-class spirits.
Yeah, instead of my mechanic skills.
Yep. Exactly. Only need so many headaches in a day, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really
Absolutely.
liking this dark rum, Johnny. I mean, it seems really versatile. You could just sip this neat. You could, throw it in your cocktail, like we said, nice floater. So I'm liking it.
Yeah, it is really good. And speaking of cocktails, I've checked out your guys' Instagram and checked you guys out quite a bit in prep for this interview, and it seems like you guys have a very, very good cocktail program in the tasting room there. How much of the spirits and how much of the ingredients are yours that you make, and then how much of it's local or?
For the cocktails, it's all our spirits,
Okay.
all ours, 100%. So,
Bitters on up.
actually, so the bitters, even me and Cody, the tasting room manager, got together and then he had those bitters created a blend for us that's in there. The bitters aren't ours; it's from another company, but all the spirits in there are ours. And then we work with like Dress the Drink, so like for like dehydrated, fruits and all those things like that's a local company as well.
Okay.
And like we have some chocolate that they do in there, and there's a local chocolate company called Happy Ending that does chocolate with our spirits as well that they sell. And there's like we incorporate as much as we can into everything that's in that tasting room.
That's awesome.
And it looks like you guys kind of embrace that 50s, 60s styles of heyday of Las Vegas.
Yeah, my boss is a big fan of the, Vegas yesteryear, and but everything. If you look in the tasting room, it's all black and white photos of everything, and it's different shows that were there, and movies and things like that. And then when you go into the bathrooms, it's all color in there, same type of thing. But they do music on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and I think they're doing blues on Sundays now. And so there's like it's always some type of entertainment going on there, and it's like it's kind of got a little bit of a speakeasy vibe, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
Because when you walk in, it's in an industrial complex, right? But the windows are all blacked out and stuff, so you don't see the parking lot outside or anything. But when you walk in, it's kind of like you went back in time a bit.
Well, transformation, nice. Yeah. So Henderson, that's it's basically contiguous with Las Vegas, right? And just kind of like a southeast projection of Las Vegas itself. Is that right?
Correct. Yep. And that basically connects like Las Vegas to almost connects it to to Boulder City and then Lake Mead, the Boulder Dam, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. So, let's talk a little bit about your process. What kind of still are you running on?
I'm running two Carl stills, German made stills.
Mhm.
Carl's been around for a lot of years. I got two pot stills. Rose is the one on the, so they're right and left, and then I got Knithers in the middle. So Rose is on the right, and Rose is traditional kind of whiskey head on there, and then it can be ran as just straight pot still, or I can change it over and it can be ran through a 4-plate column,
Okay.
or it can be ran through an 18-plate column. So that's where the vodka happens and the base for the gin.
Yep.
Swan, which is on the other side, has got more of a kind of a Scotch line arm neck on it, kind of swan's neck, and that can be ran pot still style, or also through a 4-plate column, or there's a gin basket there that it can go through. So gin is done on that one when I'm doing the gin. So that's kind of, they're 650 liters, look kind of little guys, but they're pumping out some booze. I'm pushing 300 and I'll be at 350 barrels in there pretty soon. So I'm laying down some barrels.
Nice.
That's huge.
I just got a imagery there out like I was in craft spirit communion there, and you're describing the different stills going on there.
And now you said the one was Rose. I was scared the other one was going to be Jack. So Rose and Swan, you said?
Yeah, Rose and Swan, which I mean, I'm a sailor too, so I don't really rename things. When things have a name, I'm just gonna leave their name where it's at. So those are the names that I inherited.
Okay. All right.
And so do you have like no unpeeled bananas next to your still or anything like that?
No, I actually like to toss those around for when the tours come through.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm guessing the names came because of that traditional whiskey head. It's just kind of a little bulbous thing. It looks like a rosebud. I mean, the other one has the line arm, so the swan's neck. I'm just they're fitting names, so they work.
That works.
And what do you do for your proofing process? Anything like any slow proofing going on, or prior to going in the barrel, or
definitely for the gin, there's slow proofing going on. So days, not hours or not minutes. It's days.
Yeah.
Quite a few days. Barrel entry proof right now is about I'm rocking about 110. So I'm probably going to take it down to like 105, maybe even 103 here pretty soon. The 110, we just pulled it. We just did a barrel pick for a local liquor store called Corey's. They did a blue corn bourbon barrel pick, and they wanted it at barrel strength. And so that went in at 109, and it came out at 119.8.
Nice.
And that was only 2 years old. So, yeah, if the proof's raising pretty significantly, so I'm gonna probably lower it a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. And then what are you using for your cooperage?
So I have, when the project started, we were just coming out of COVID. So I got some barrels. I don't really want to mention where, but they're from the South. They were not seasoned wood, so it was kiln dried, but that was the only thing that was available at that point in time. So I won't be using any of that anymore. I only had 16 of those. Then from there, a lot of stuff comes from Canton, out of Kentucky, so Canton Cooperage. A lot of stuff comes from there, and then and I'm using quite a bit of stuff out of the Midwest, upper Midwest now.
Okay.
And I am, I forgot the name of the cooperage.
That's all right. Not something you get asked too often, I'm guessing.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, no, I should know it, but my head's somewhere else. So
that's fair.
Like you said, you got quite a bit of data on your mind for sure, being a distiller.
No, sorry, it's Speyside.
Okay.
Speyside.
So I'm using Speyside.
Oh, cool.
So a lot of stuff from Speyside or Canton, basically.
Okay.
Is what's happening. A Canton difference between those two is Canton, so like come from the wine world, so all those barrels are sanded and stainless steel hoops and everything. They're really, really good looking barrels.
I know.
A Speyside, yeah. So it is. All of those are 24. I'm only using 24 to 36 month, maybe even some 48-month seasoned wood anyway, like that, because now I can get that again.
Nice.
And I would have never. That's all I would have used in the first place. Like I said, I owned a distillery in Missouri, and Missouri White Oak is,
yeah,
that's the jam. So, and I had a cooperage right around the corner from me. They used to do custom barrels for me, and
that's awesome.
And it's just So I had to do what I had to do and got kiln dried barrels but I only used 16 of them. So we'll see how that goes. That stuff's gonna age longer. I'm not pulling none of that yet.
Yeah.
Well, and I know earlier you were saying you really have like an eclectic style. You don't like to just rest on one thing. Is that kind of similar in your barrel choice, both like with the char and any toasting going on? Do you do a variety, or have you kind of honed in on your preferred formula for that?
I I do a variety. There's no data. There's other people that have said that absolutely good whiskey cannot be made in Las Vegas or in the Vegas Valley or whatever. They said 100% it can't happen because you can't age spirits there and all that other stuff. I'm saying bullshit. Um, uh, you just can't maybe do it the way you're doing it somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's always a way to make something happen. And so I'm doing some different stuff. I'm doing char 1, 2, 3, and 4,
Okay.
toasted heads. I'm a fan of char and toasted heads anyway. That's the thing I'm sticking to is the
Yeah.
toasted heads and whatever char.
I like it.
But I have been playing with all different char levels and I'm checking because there's no data. I'm the first one to do it, so there's nothing to rely on, and I gotta see where things are going and what works best. But it's gonna take time. Nothing. I don't have anything that I'm disappointed with um, yet. So if I have something that tastes really really nice and I let it go an extra 6 months and it ruins it, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed at that point. So it's bound to happen because I
Right.
gotta find out where the threshold is for the precipice of the cliff that I shouldn't have gone off.
And well, that's the
Okay.
thing with whiskey too, and with spirits. Whoops, with spirits in general, is it can fall off that cliff, but then you just let it sit for another 6, 8 months, and it climbs back up. Sometimes you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, well, it'd probably have to the tannic stuff that I tasted that was there before.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't know what the spirit was going into that barrel in the first place, so I can't blame it all on the age,
Right.
but the age had a lot to do with it. It's just all the astringent and horrible stuff that you
Mm.
don't want from that barrel is all in that whiskey,
Okay.
and I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why people said you can't age whiskey there. I really don't know, but I don't have all the factors,
Yeah.
to know. I didn't get to taste that stuff going in, and it could have been a horrible distillate going in the first place. I really don't know,
Yeah.
or it could have been a great distillate, and 10 years was just way too long in the Vegas Valley.
Yeah, and those are probably the same people that are saying no good whiskey can be made anywhere but places like Kentucky,
Kentucky,
Tennessee,
yeah,
and stuff like that. Anyway, so it's
Yeah.
like,
that's all right.
yeah, no, well, we know that that's not true for sure. Yeah, so I bet it's those same class of people
Yeah.
saying those kinds of things. And what we've experienced just, with fine people like you, Johnny, is that there's some amazing craft spirits being made here in the Western United States. You just gotta give it a try, go out, wet your whistle on some of this stuff, and I guarantee your mind will be changed on some of this.
Yeah. And now
Absolutely.
I'm curious. So if you do have something that's gotten to the point of it being a little too tannic for you, is there any way to come back from that? Can you filter? Like, is that where charcoal filtering or anything like that can kind of bring something back from the edge?
You might be able to with charcoal or something, or maybe a finish too. Maybe
Yeah, hide it.
maybe finish it in something and yeah, and kind of bury it. Like I said, I'm the subtractive guy. I'm not
Mm.
the additive guy really, and so I'll just cross that bridge when I get to it. To be honest,
Okay.
I mean, worst case scenario, I could blend it with like 10 other barrels or
Right.
something, and they would be gone basically. But I mean, I don't think I'm going to lose any barrels,
Yeah.
but there is going to come a point in this process where I will be disappointed. So I'm not disappointed yet, but I just do know that there's going to be a point in this process where I will be disappointed.
Yeah. So with that, how often are you tasting? How often are you thieving from those barrels to see how
Not
it's going?
not that often. Nah, each season. I mean, we have a hot time and a cold time.
Yeah.
So and in the warehouse in the distillery, I mean, it's uncontrolled and it's 25-foot ceilings, and when it gets cold outside, and it does get cold here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the distillery and it's only 40 degrees in the distillery. So that's pretty cold.
Yeah.
And then when it gets hot outside, it stays hot in the distillery. So when it's 90 degrees or whatever, it's 110 outside or whatever, it's 90 degrees. I mean, it was 90 degrees in the distillery the other day when it was just up in the 100, right around the high 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
So when it gets 100, like, or a couple summers ago when it's 120 here for
Yeah.
God knows how many days, like the most days on recorded history or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was over 100 degrees in the distillery every day, and you chill it out at night, but you turn on swamp coolers or whatever you do, but it doesn't drop the temp.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing to manage your ferments during those times? I mean, do you have more of a seasonality to it, or how do you deal with that, Johnny?
So, I mean, at the size I'm doing, like I do like 1,000-gallon ferments. So we have a 1,000-gallon cooker. The next upgrade is actually going to be a 2,000-gallon cooker. I'm going to add some more stuff, and we have more stuff coming on. We're taking over. We could talk about it a little bit, but we're taking over another. We already took over another space next door.
Okay.
We're 2 units already. We just took over another one, and then we took over one in a different building where I just moved the bottling line to and put in air lines and compressor and everything. So we have some licensing things we're going through, and so we have a lot of expansion happening right now.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
As far as the fermentations go, at that size, they create their own heat for the most part. I still have to cool them a bit, so I cap it. I do pretty hot ferments.
Okay.
I'm running, depending on what I'm doing, between 80 and 88 degrees is where I set my firm temps at, and and it just doesn't let it go above that. But yeah, they're creating it. They're big enough where they create their own heat. And in the wintertime, it's not really a big deal. It'd take a little, maybe a day or two longer or whatever, but
Sure.
it's not, yeah, it's not the end of the world.
But how about during those
I don't
hot
know.
summer days? Does that mess
So the
with
hot
it?
days are fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, it, they need to be chilled a little bit better. But I mean, well, I'm running 88 degrees and if the temperature in the distillery is 90 degrees, that's really not a big deal,
Yeah.
It's creating its own heat, and it's just a
Okay.
little knockdown power to keep
Totally.
it at 88. I don't know what they were doing or how they were doing it. If it's, I don't even know how they were doing it without cooling
Yeah.
before. So that's crazy to me.
Nice. Well, we're rounding the corner into our third round here. And Johnny, you want to introduce our final spirit?
Yeah, so this is the coffee liqueur. The coffee liqueur actually is with the rum base, so it starts with the rum, which most coffee liqueurs are not. They're
Okay.
usually from the cheapest grain spirits you can get.
Right.
So I've done quite a few coffee liqueurs, like more than a dozen, and
Mhm.
over the years. And this is usually people want to they just want to make it cheaper. They want to do whatever they want to do to make it as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that on this one. My boss said I can do what I want, which he's done with all my projects actually. So he hasn't capped me on anything that's going to hurt my quality. So
Awesome.
this starts with my rum base, and then it is a local coffee roaster, Dark Moon Coffee Roasters, and coffee shop. They gave me a bunch of stuff to taste through, and I tasted through. I gave them kind of the flavor profile I wanted on the coffee. It's an anaerobic processed Colombian bean, and then he does a special roast. It's a lighter roast, so it's
Mhm.
not too bitter. I wanted nice and round and chocolatey notes and all those
Yeah.
things. And so they do a nice roast for me, and then they do a cold brew extract for me. And also I decided on what the TDS level or what the concentration of that cold brew extract is.
Okay.
So basically it's kind of high. It's at a 6. So it's pretty strong. So I can keep that proof high. So you see that's over 50 proof. So I don't have to, it's going to still pack a punch. And then in there is the unrefined Louisiana cane sugar as well.
Okay.
I have the roots and history with the country of Belize. And so there's also Belizean cacao in there, and then Mexican vanilla, which I feel is the best vanilla in the world. That's just my personal opinion. So
Well,
that's what you're drinking on.
man, you're talking about all these different marks of the quality going into this glass here, and I'm getting it. It's coming through. There's I love both the nose and the taste on this. You get that really nice, well-rounded coffee taste in there. It's a very rich coffee taste, but it's not bitter at all. Yeah, those big chocolatey notes are coming through. I'm really liking this one, Johnny. This is one of my favorite coffee liqueurs I've tasted.
And I
Awesome.
like my coffee that's mostly sugar. And this has that nice coffee flavor, but it's still got that rum sweetness. So this is very, very good.
So, and also touching on the sugar level, there's some out there, like I don't mention any names, or whatever, but there's some out there. So the kind of the gold standard over the coffee liqueurs out there is 400 grams per liter of sugar, just as a reference point. Um, the people on the market right now that are dominating the market they come in way less than that at like 320, and I'm clocking in at 240.
Okay.
So they're 80 less, and then 80 less again. So it's only 240 grams per liter, which is a lot of sugar, but it's not comparatively to a lot of the coffee liqueurs out there on the
Right.
market.
Well, I think that's the right move because it really lets the ingredients speak for themselves here and shine through. I think it has plenty of sweetness here on my tongue. Yeah, I love those chocolatey notes coming through, and I'm sure this is a popular one. How everyone's loving their espresso martinis.
It's actually the best seller.
Oh wow,
There
okay,
you go.
And I there was a little bit of pushback on if I was going to be able to do that or not. Like I wanted to do it, and they're like, no, no, just make bourbon, And uh, I'm like, well, just let me just do a coffee liqueur for you guys, and
Yeah.
and if we can just put it in the tasting room, we can do espresso martinis with it. If you don't like it, we can just pull it. But I already knew where I wanted to go with it. So and now it's a bestseller. So yeah, so
good
it is
job.
what it is.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So you said you were working on some more experimental stuff that we might get to a little later. I think now might be a little bit later. What are some of the fun things you're working on?
So, like like I told you, I kind of mentioned that single malt, like that barrel thing. I got some other collaborations we're going to be doing with some barrel things as well. I got a couple barrel picks coming up.
Yeah.
We'll see what they pick for another liquor store in Vegas Valley. They're going to do one for their whiskey club, and then they're going to also do then another barrel pick like 2 weeks later for during like we're doing like a whiskey week thing, and that's for the store I think
Okay.
there for retail. So we're doing those things. I have some agave stuff in the mix. So the agave, it's coming on 2 years right now. I have some at 2 years and about 6 barrels, I think, that are about to crest the 2 year mark.
Okay.
So trying to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to name it. We're not going to do like reposado and anejo. We're not going to use like
Okay.
nomenclature of, Spanish nomenclature or anything like that. Just going to be an agave spirit. I got to figure out, but basically what we're going to release is like a Cristalino style. So about 6 months to a year aged already and then filtered and then just like kind of an extra age. Like minimum age 2 years. So 2 years and above. I'm just going to do those two things. It'll be a clear spirit and a clear spirit that's filtered and an aged spirit. And with agave, 2 years that's a lot of age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reposados are like 3 to 6 months usually, and but that's what I'm going to do. I really love those spirits, and I just want to do something completely different and go from there. But I do. Hopefully, I'm going to be talking to some people though in California. I'll be at ACSA, American Craft Spirit Association,
Oh,
in
we'll see you
Sacramento.
next
Yeah, we'll
weekend.
see you next weekend.
Okay, so I'll be there, and then there's a whole lot of agave being grown on that central
Nice.
California region right now.
Yeah.
Also in Hawaii as well. I have a lot of friends and people there. There's a lot of agave out there. So I'm going to be talking to some people. Maybe could I'm going to plant some seeds for some future projects.
Oh, cool.
For sure on that front.
Very cool.
So I would love to do that. And then yeah, we're just getting into just distribution right now, So I mean, it's been a few months, but we're getting some pretty cool placements. Like Jose Andres just put us at his Bazaar Meats place, and then he actually picked us up at another one of his restaurants in Vegas as well. So we're the vodka for the martini card at his Bazaar Meats, and then and then the other one's like a kind of a Greek Mediterranean thing, and they're bringing in like 3 of the SKUs, I think. And so
Nice.
we're getting some really nice placements right now.
Yeah.
And so our team is really kicking some ass out there on the streets. So we'll see
That's
how
huge.
things go in the future.
Heck yeah.
And like I said, I do have some. I'll probably be doing some Oaxacan green bourbon
Oh.
at some point in the near future. So it's a green corn.
Okay.
Like I said, I have some Bloody Butcher. I have some red corn that's laid down in barrels already, and I have quite a bit of blue corn as well. So some of those releases will be coming out.
Very
That's,
cool.
That's nice. Ooh, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had the Oaxacan corn, anything made from it, so I'm curious.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes some. Yeah, it's some interesting whiskey, man. It's cool.
What kind of flavors does it impart that are different than our standard here?
Well, the yellow's really sweet, right?
Mhm.
The yellow's got the sweet stuff. The blue is definitely more earthy than that, and the green is definitely more earthy than the blue.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's got some. It's not sweet. You're not getting any of that sweet yellow corn thing
Yeah.
happening, which is what a lot of people really love, But then there's for me, I'm still following the rules, but I can at least like have something that's little more unique,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
like
following
that
the
touch.
rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's super cool.
51% at least.
Yep. I got all that corn in there. Just happens to be green.
Well, I bet you that tickles your fancy. You know, like you said, with liking the white dog coming off the still, really getting down into kind of those subtle differences between all the different corn varietals and stuff. Does that really do it for you? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a difference. I don't I can get bored. I'm not like I don't I mean I can just go through the steps or whatever and go through the motions, but I like the creative process, and I really like having the raw materials sing to me and like tell me what they want to do, and give them their best life.
Nice. Really excellent marks across the board. You're definitely doing it right over there, Johnny. Hitting all those um, craft distillery, excellent seals of approval there for sure. I really enjoyed everything from the lineup
Yeah.
today. Really, like I said, hitting it on all marks across the board here.
Yeah, and I'm super impressed. Every single one of them, I think, drinks lighter than the proof. Any of these would be very, very dangerous in a cocktail. The flavor's
Yeah.
fantastic, and it doesn't have that bite that you'd expect at 45+%.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
really great to see you can do your aged products there in such a hot valley and really, you know, buck any of those misconceptions that can't be done in the Las Vegas Valley. So kudos to you, Johnny, doing excellent work out there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I guess with that, do you have any final words for our listeners and our viewers?
Good whiskey can be made in the Vegas Valley.
There you go.
And you were saying that you're going to be moving into distribution right now. Um, so where can people find your products now and maybe soon?
Currently just in the Vegas Valley, for the most part. Actually, we just did a shipment to Reno, so that's like so we're going to spread the tentacles a little bit in the Reno area, but just in Nevada right now. There is an online thing that's supposed to be happening. I'm pretty sure that it's up and running. But that's kind of I just make booze, so it's kind of like out of my hands. But I think that on our website there should be a link soon, or it's active now that there's a retailer in Reno that ships to some state. I don't know how many states or whatever, but I know that that's definitely in the works or just went hot. So then so online would be to whatever state allows, obviously,
Yeah.
the shipping. And
All right, we'll throw it in the show notes. We'll
Yeah,
look it up.
definitely. Because I would highly encourage people to go out, check this out for sure. Because excellent products, whether you know you drink them neat or want them in a cocktail. I think these are very versatile and they have some great flavors behind them and have great backbone. Yeah, very versatile and approachable. I'm liking it, Johnny.
that bourbon's turning 3 years old in I think end of June or something. So I'll have some. It's gonna yeah. We'll be at the 4 year mark before we know it.
Yeah, which I'm sure, as kind of a representative, that would be something probably more in like the 6 to 8 year in like a cooler climate. Um, yeah,
Oh, easily, I
yeah,
think. I mean, it's I've just listened to what other people have said, but most people that have been trying that 2 year, they're saying that that's like comparable to like a 4 to 6 year. So,
Yeah, definitely.
that's we're just gonna see where it goes from there. I'm interested because each season when it spits that stuff out of the wood and then sucks it back in there, it's like it's a whole evolution. So I'm anxious to see. I want it to get hot. Like I'm not like bumming out that it's going to get hot here pretty
yeah,
quick. I want it to get hot. Let's get hot again. So, yeah. So I want to see where the flavors go.
yeah. Get all that interaction with the wood going on for sure. Well,
Yep.
I really appreciate your time, Johnny. I had a great time today, and just like I said, wonderful time working through the products here, and really appreciate the generosity sending the bottles. So, yeah, thank you again for your time and generosity, Johnny. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and sorry for having to postpone it on that thing. I had like an unsuspected trip to Belize that it just whatever it didn't line up. But I'm glad we finally got together.
Yeah, glad we finally got together,
definitely.
made it happen, and hopefully we see you out at the American Craft Spirit Association coming up next
I'll be
weekend.
there.
Alrighty, man.
Yeah, I'll be there. All
Well,
right.
cheers, Johnny.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us
Cheers,
on
you
another
guys.
episode of Distilling the West.